Well, the month of July has all been about the store picks. Mostly single barrels, but all of them store picks. Well, I have some favorites. In fact, I have 7 of them. Well, in fact, I'm drinking one of those favorites right now. Cheers. That is good. Well, I kind of broke them down by categories when I went through my store picks, and I've got, I don't know, about 30 store picks on my shelf. Not all of them have been featured, but most of them we've been featuring through the month. So the first thing I thought about, well, what in store picks now, what is my favorite finished bourbon? Well, that would have to be the ASW Fiddler Georgia Heartwood. This is a local distillery in Georgia, and it is, 58.5%? What is the math on that? About 117 proof? This is wonderful bourbon. It's finished in these really huge Georgia white oak staves. And like I said, they're not the staves of Maker's Mark. These things are like firewood staves. That is my favorite finished store pick bourbon. Well, what about whiskeys? There's a lot of good finished whiskeys out there, and we have one that was a store pick, and that is the Bull Run 15 year. Now, this is finished in Nocino barrels. That's a kind of a walnut liqueur, I believe. And this stuff is absolutely wonderful and more affordable than you would think. So this is my favorite store pick finished whiskey. Next up, what is my favorite high proof? Whiskey, bourbon, it doesn't matter. That would be, and it's a one-off unfortunately for you, that would be the Southern Collective Return of the King. Now, this was a single barrel, and when I mean single, I mean there was just one of them, a leftover from their King of Georgia series. This ended up being a store pick, and it's already gone from that particular bottle shop. But it is my favorite high proof or high octane. It is 137.9, and believe it or not, it doesn't burn. It is a wonderful, and it's finished too on top of it, but my favorite high proof whiskey. Next, what is my favorite cask strength? Because I'm not always drinking high proof. I'm usually not a high proof guy. And that would be this Yellowstone. This is a Kentucky straight bourbon whiskey, single barrel, and it is 119 proof. Below that 120 mark that I try to stay below. It's one of my favorites. It's a collaboration with Bourbon Riders. I did help pick it. It is a wonderful cask strength bourbon, and that is my cask strength store pick. Next up, what do we have? Oh, we cannot talk about wheated. Now, I'm a wheated bourbon guy, not a wheated whiskey guy. You won't see a wheated whiskey up here as my favorite anything. I just haven't found a wheated whiskey that I really love, and I don't have any wheated whiskey store picks. But I do have a lot of wheated bourbon store picks, and what is my favorite? That would be another collaboration, this Maker's Mark Black Forest Cake Barrel 24. It's a particular stave combination, so it's also finished. It's 111.2 proof, and like I said, a collaboration with a local bottle shop, and just absolutely one of my favorites. Now, I will list in the description where I got these different store picks, so if you want to chase them, not all of them are still around, but if you want to chase them, you can contact that bottle shop and see if they still have any. But this is my favorite wheated bourbon. Now for kind of an everyday drinker. When I say everyday, not a high proof, not something I reserve just for the weekend. A good daily drinker. that's also a bottled and bond. My favorite store pick bottled and bond is also a local, this Old Fourth Distillery. Now this is the old bottle, which is so unique. It's got this metal, almost like bronze emblem, and like a brass topper. It's a beautiful bottle. I don't think they make it like this anymore, but they do still make this fine bottled and bond bourbon at 100 proof. And it is my favorite bottled and bond store pick. And last but not least, what would be my favorite craft bourbon. And I'm talking about a true craft bourbon. It's distilled, it's aged, and it's bottled by the same company. And my favorite craft distillery, store pick craft distillery, would be this R.M. Rose Founders. Now, I did participate in this barrel pick, but I actually didn't vote on it. I participated because I filmed it. But this is absolutely wonderful. This is their wheated bourbon. It is 129.7 proof, so it is up there. And I think it's like 5.5 years, maybe close to 6. But it is a wheated marvel and a true craft bourbon. This is my favorite store pick craft bourbon. Well, these are my favorite 7 store picks. In fact, I'm drinking one of them tonight. And what would I be drinking? This bottled and bond, because it's still early in the night and I had to start slow, right? So, as always, please drink responsibly, never drink and drive, and we'll see you next time. Cheers.